Hello Malaysians, my name is Professor Dr. Muhammad Tajuddin and welcome to the next video or part 2 of my topic Navigating Malaysia for the next 20 years. How are we going to move forward in the face of religious conservatism and problems that we are having at the moment. Now for the first part, I had outlined what I see as the problem, and this is what I see as the problem. We are a nation of mutual disrespect. You have to look at the first video to understand what that is. We are also a nation of mutual mistrust. We are a nation of impatience and arrogance, and we are a nation of unchanging perspective. So how do we move forward? And the point that I'm trying to make here is that how we ourselves must rethink, re-educate, and re-strategize, rather than we are complaining and blaming and listening to keyboard warriors or certain writers or columnists who will never become leaders, saying that they think they can do better, or that they are trying to say that certain leaders are not doing their work. So we will move on to what is my solution, and for this part 2, the strategies that I've outlined here are that we must learn about ourselves and ourselves. Then we must embrace what is called realpolitik. And thirdly, we must educate our children ourselves. And fourthly, we must mitigate conflicts ourselves. We must be the change we want for Malaysia. Now, for part 2, I will talk about we must learn about ourselves and ourselves. What do I mean by that? And how do we go about doing so? Secondly, we must embrace realpolitik. What is realpolitik? Why must we embrace realpolitik when realpolitik is supposed to be the work of politicians and not us? And I will explain why. So this is the part 2. I will concentrate only these two aspects of our road ahead. Now, what do I mean by I say learn about ourselves and ourselves? Okay, so ourself means each and every one of us have a self. And this is something that we mostly unconsciously develop through our education, through our society, through our religion, and we develop what we consider our self. But the problem here is that our self is something most of the time uncontrolled by us, because as I said, when I say we learn, most of the time we don't really have much choice. That's what given to us. I have discovered that I could actually change myself by unlearning many of the things that I have learned. For instance, some people hate another race. Why must we do that? If you go through a period of questioning and all that, then you will come up with a different self. So this is what I mean by our self, changing ourself. And the other one is changing ourselves, meaning we are part of a group. We are part of a Malay group, part of a Chinese group, or part of a Christian group, part of a Muslim group or a Hindu group. When I look at all the comments and all the complaints and all the blames, I can sense that people are trapped within their own uncontrolled self, meaning the self that they inherited. They inherited it from their parents, from the environment, from their friends, from the system of education, from the system or institution of religion, and also from their basic understanding of what we call history. And so in order to rediscover a different self in ourselves, we must read, we must reflect, and we must discuss new topics of concern if we want to be invested. So we must read. Now I recommend for all of us to read at least these 2 books, and I hope you would read many more. And I'm trying to read 2 books a month in order to make myself better. How? I don't read about architecture anymore. I don't read about how to make money so much, but I read about how to understand others and how also I might be better at relearning myself. And so the book that I'm going to suggest is one book by Professor Khairuddin Al-Junaid. I had read it and I find it very, very interesting. It's called Islam in Malaysia and Entwined History. I discovered many things that I did not know as a Malay as well as a Muslim, because Professor Khairuddin tracked the evolution of Islam from the early parts of Malaysia or Malaya, and then into the Malays, how the Rajas became Muslim, and the peasant group also followed through. So Islam did not come in a sense that people embracing it naturally. It came in more of a political sense, even though there are other paths where the Sufis came and all that, but mainly it's a political sense. And so Islam has always been trapped in a political construct rather than in a more what we call natural searching construct, and that did not really happen very much. And so through the short period of discussion on Islamization and the Islamic reform in the world as well as in Malaysia, Malaysians will then see why things have become conservative in terms of the Malays, because people keep blaming groups like Parti Islam Malaysia, groups like ABIM, people like Anwar Ibrahim, people like Hadi Awang. Yes, some of these have played a role, but the major ones are something outside of them. If Anwar Ibrahim and Hadi Awang were never born, we would still be in the same situation. That's why we need to understand that. And I have a video about how I saw the rise of Islamization in Malaysia in one of the videos that I will put in the link below. We should also experience cultures directly and not just read or just YouTube. I love to YouTube, and I learn a lot about other different cultures, but if possible we have to devise ways in which we can be together. For instance, if there is some places where you can be part of a community, then I think this is something that we ourselves can organize. Maybe part of a Chinese community, spending some time maybe in a Chinese context, and then the Chinese can come to the kampong or to a Malay place like in a housing estate. Then we can mix together at the mosque, at the tempat makan, and all this kind of thing. We can do that. Then we can always consult experts and those in the know. Always do that. Do not react quickly to the news that comes. Oh, halal issue, then Teresa said, then we must support her because she's protecting us. No. Even a person as good as Teresa also makes mistakes, and I think she did. Not the mistake about a halal certification, but the mistake of how she delivered it. And so we do not follow that. And there are many occasions where good intention groups like the Kuala Lumpur Chinese Assembly Hall, the Interfaith Group, they are good people, excellent people, but they make mistakes. And they are not strategic in their thinking, and they are not diplomatic in their approach. They're thinking like, for me, children react, and this is what they did. They reacted. Now, people may be angry at me for saying that, but I'm an academic. I understand many hidden things, many underlying things, many diplomatic things, many political things that I have picked up for 25 years outside the realm of my study. Of course, some people always say, what does he know? He's a professor of architecture. But hey, I learn. And the best of us all is that we learn. We go outside of our own comfort zone. Most of those who complain, they are in their comfort zone and never want to leave their comfort zone of being Malay, their comfort zone of being Muslim, their comfort zone being an architect, their comfort zone of being a business. That's all they know, and that's all they will die with. And this is not the way forward. The other thing is that don't ever think your way is always the right way. It never is. So we actually should wait and see, like the GISBH issue. I have been asked to comment, but I wanted to wait. I wanted to see for myself what is actually fact and what are just accusations and what are just rumors. Because as an academic, I cannot make the mistake like what Teresa had done. So we must actually take a pause before we actually jump in. Then learn to change, or else you are in your own prison and there is no one to blame but you. This is true. All of us are in the prison of how we react 20 years ago, it's the same way that we are reacting, except that we have social media that makes it worse. And then we also have anonymity in commenting in media news portal like Malaysia Kini. And then this is the thing that we have done. We like to say all these things like how we felt 20 years ago and how we felt now. Things must change. I supported PAS Hadi Awang at one time. Now I don't. I have changed because they changed, and therefore I saw that they had changed, and therefore I changed myself. Now, so this is what we need to do. We need to learn about ourselves, and ourselves there is a larger us if we know and care to discover. So there is a different us. Okay? There's a different us. What we're doing is we're staying with the present us, the past us, but not something that can be better than us now. Now, some people are very insulted. No, I'm already better. I'm sorry, if you think like that, then I don't know where you're going to go. If anybody who thinks that they are already good and excellent at this point in time, then susah lah. Spiritually, that is not a correct way of saying it. Now, the next thing that we need to do is that we must embrace realpolitik. In order to chart and navigate our country, we must become like politicians. What we are is just children. We complain. Children just do that. Complain, complain, complain. Then children will say, want, want. Demand, demand, demand. This is what? This is who we are. But now we have to play politics. We need to know this so that we can identify who is a bad politician and who's the good politician, but how they are going to navigate through in order to get the solution that we desire. So before that, we need to understand that the politics, like Pakatan Harapan, the DAP, is working with opposites. You're working with opposite. DAP is working with UMNO, the enemy that calls them so many names. So how do you do it? When Anthony Loke keeps silent on a lot of issues, people say, see Anthony Loke now, jadi lembek already and all that. No, that is how he's waiting, and he's being very patient and very strategic. If he was they were on the opposite side, then he would react differently. Now he is on the government side, and he has to work with UMNO, so he has to take many pause. But we, as the rakyat, what do? Abai duduk diam saja. That should not happen. He is a master tactician. You are just complaining. So politics is about timing and optics. Certain things you show off. There are some things you need to hide in order to do some things. And timing. So why this not happen? You said you're going to do it, then it's not happening. Sabar. There is a time for that. No. You said that, now you didn't do it, so you are very bad. Ladies and gentlemen, this is children punya cara. Okay, like you promise to take your granddaughter shopping and something happen. No, atuk tipu, atuk ni tak suka lah, tak nak kawan dengan, you get that kind of reaction. And I'm surprised to see educated people acting like children. Politics is making friends with all but trusting none. This is how we must do so. We must pick one political party against another political party. We must be smart. We must be strategic. Many of my writing is not about analysis of politics. It's about advocating certain things, and even I try to advocate and play politics with other matters, and also with the political parties, suggesting ideas that could grow them or even destroy them. So this is how I do my work. Politics is friends 1 minute and enemies the next. So we see what happened in the 2015 election. The enemies, after that, the dust settled after 4 or 5 days. The wisdom of the young Pertuan Agong, he became friends. Politics is about the long con or the short kill, meaning sometimes you have to nip the thing in the bud very immediately, which is very rare, and most of the time it's something that has to meander. Let's say you want to create a certain policy that is very unpopular, so you need to have to do this, to do that first, diffuse that, and then only produce the policy. So gajah sama gajah berjuang, pelanduk senyum di tengah-tengah. The old Malay saying, gajah sama gajah berjuang, pelanduk mati di tengah-tengah, where different raja would battle and the peasant would die because they were the ones becoming cannon fodder. But here in democracy, we the rakyat pit one political party against another political party, pit one leader against another leader through our strategic way of dealing with issues and all that. So these are 2 or 4 ways that I have mentioned, and in this part 2. So for part 3, I will mention the other 2 and conclude this series of talk. Thank you very much.